You can't get enough of a warm, hot bowl of butternut squash soup for supper. Oh my gosh, you have to sit down and take your time and eat it and taste every grain of the liquid into your mouth, because this is so refreshing. It's so filling. It's so warm. It's so hearty. It's so nutritious. You just gotta sit there and enjoy that warm bowl of soup because it's so full of flavor and goodness inside. You don't want to miss out on that goodness. Hi guys, welcome back to Charmin's Kitchen. Today I'm going to be sharing a recipe with you for butternut squash soup. And butternut squash is one squash that people hardly use because it's they don't know sometimes what to do with it. But it can make a beautiful soup. You can make pies, you can make so many things with butternut squash. But today, when it's winter, I like to make a nice hearty butternut squash. And butternut squash is a very hard a very hard squash to peel. So the easiest way to do this is to, this is the butternut squash I have right here. I'm gonna just cut off the top of it, and you have to get like a real sharp knife because, and look at this one, it's really nice inside. And you just want to cut the bottom end off as well. And what you want to do, beautiful, see that color? It's gonna give us a beautiful butternut squash soup. And instead of peeling it, because it's so hard to peel, what you want to do is just cut it in half like this, and then cut it right through so you can get it in two halves. And because it's so, if you can see how hard I'm trying to cut it, it's but I'll get it because the knife is very sharp. It's a very hard squash to cut. So I got it cut, and this is a beautiful one. And you can see in here is the seed, and when you take the seed out, you can always roast it to have as a snack, or you can take it out and roast it to blend and make a smoothie. But I will take it out and I decide what to do with it after. And then I want to put some fresh grind black pepper on here, and I'm grinding that freshly right now. You want to season up the butternut squash a little before you roast it, because after it finishes, it's going to have a nice flavor. And then I'm going to sprinkle some thyme, because in the soup, I like to taste that little hint of thyme. You can put any spice of your choice, but I want to put thyme today, and that's fine thyme. And I'm going to put it downwards because it can cook faster that way. And then, in order to make this soup nice and have a rich red color, I like to put in red pepper. So I'm gonna do the same for the red pepper. I'm gonna roast the red pepper with the butternut squash, and I'm taking the seeds out. And what I'm gonna do here is that I'm gonna do the same thing, put some salt on this here, and some black pepper. And then I'm gonna nicely coat these up. Here my oven is ready. I'm gonna nicely coat this up with some coconut oil all over, so this can get a nice char on the inside and the outside of the pepper to make it very the soup is gonna be like a nice, beautiful, rich color. So that I'm gonna put in the oven for 1 hour, but halfway in the cooking, I'll take these out and add my onions because I don't want the onion to overcook. And I will add the onions that I'll be adding into the soup. We're putting these into the oven, and then we're gonna let it cook for half an hour and then add our onions in there. So while my butternut squash is roasting, I'm gonna be roasting some garlic because I wanna use some of this garlic into the soup, because the roasted garlic make a very beautiful flavor into the soup. So guys, see, you could just want to cut it a little, and I'm gonna put it in a foil paper and then cover that up. And I'm doing 2 of these garlic because I have a few recipes that I'm gonna be using roasted garlic for this weekend. So I'm gonna make, instead of roasting 2 separate sets, I'm gonna be roasting 1 batch today and then use it for my other recipe later on. So in here, I'm just gonna put some coconut oil on the top because that helps to give the nice char on the garlic. And I just wanna put these down like that. And in here, I'm gonna do the same. Put the garlic into the full pan, and then I will be adding some coconut oil, and then I will face this downwards so we can get that beautiful flavor into the garlic. And guys, roasted garlic in any dish tastes so good, so amazing. There's nothing like a good roast garlic in your special dishes. It brings out such a good flavor. So I'm gonna put these into the oven to roast along with the butternut squash, and then I'll be adding some into the soup as well. Okay guys, so I take it out halfway in, and I'm just gonna take these peppers out because it's already cooked, and I don't want it to cook more than that. So I'm gonna turn this over and let's check it to see. Oops, yep, it's steaming hot and it's halfway there. So we want it to cook a little bit more. It's gonna be easy to scoop up. And see guys, it didn't take long, just half an hour in the oven. And I'm gonna put in 4 small onions, and I want to put these in right close to the end because I don't want it to overcook, just to get a little bit on the bottom to char, to have that nice roasted flavor. And I'm just gonna put these back in for maybe not half an hour but 20 minutes or so. So guys, halfway in, the roasted garlic is already finished. I'm not gonna let it cook more than this, and we're gonna be adding some of this into the soup, and then we're gonna be keeping some to add to another dish that I'm making tomorrow. So see guys, I'll peel the skin off the pepper because you don't want the scaly part in your soup. So I'm just gonna peel these off. Take my time and peel them off, and you're just using the nice soft part into the soup because this will be scaly in your mouth and it won't taste very nice. So I'll take my time and peel these off. See how easy it's coming off when you roast them, but it'll still have that nice roasted pepper flavor. And I will set these aside until the rest of the squash is finished, and then we will put everything together. Okay guys, so for this beautiful butternut squash soup, I'm gonna make my own homemade garlic butter to make a garlic bread. And I have in here, you can make how much you want, and then you can always use as much as you like for this time, and then you can save it in the fridge for another time. So I have about two spoons of butter, and in here I'll grate 1 clove of garlic. I'm making my own garlic butter for this butternut squash soup because I want to make it special. If I'm gonna make the butternut squash soup from scratch, I want to make everything from scratch except for the bread, but I'm using a good bread. I'm using sourdough whole multigrain bread. So I grated here a fresh clove of garlic into the butter, and then I'm gonna be adding into that some dry oregano into that to give it a nice garlic butter flavor. And that's all you need for your garlic butter. You just want to mix that in nicely to get everything coated in evenly, so the garlic can be all over in the butter, and the oregano is also mixed in very well into the butter, and this smells already like garlic butter. So I'm gonna mix this, and then I'll show you how I put them together with the bread for the garlic bread. So the butternut squash are done. They're steaming, piping hot, and look at this guys. You can just scoop it up like that because it's nice and soft. I'm just gonna get pot holder to hold the pan because it's hot. So you just want to scoop out the inside. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it in my blender because I don't have a stick blender. So I'm going to put it in my magic bullet. And then I will blend it up with all the garlic and onion and everything. And then I'll put it on the stove just to simmer back before I serve it. So I'll scoop up all this butternut squash. And then I'm adding and look at the onion, guys. Nice char on the inside, and that's what you're looking for. You're looking for that char inside in the butternut squash. And I will take all this and put it into the blender along with the red pepper. And the red pepper, I peel it so it's nice and soft, and everything's gonna get blended in there, mix in well, and then we'll come back and show you the next step. So guys, I'm gonna just add some water in here so it's gonna blend up nicely. And I'm adding 4 cups of water to this whole butternut squash, but I'm adding a little bit while I'm blending it, and then I'll see the texture because I like it to not too thick and not too thin consistency. So I'll be adjusting the way the butternut squash blend. So this is our first batch blended, and look at that, nice and creamy, thick goodness. And if you don't have a stick blender, you can use any blender that you have in your kitchen for this blending process. But it's very simple after you roast the butternut squash. It's very soft and it's not too hard to work with after that. So all you have to do is get your stick blender, or if you have a regular kitchen blender, and just put everything in there that you want to add to this soup, and then blend it away, and that's all that you need. And just warm it up a little on the stove. So these are the garlic that I roasted, and they came off from the skin. And look, you just have to push them like that and it's coming off nicely. So I'm gonna be adding some of it to the mixture, and that's gonna give it that nice roasted flavor. Guys, look here, look at this meat. Isn't that amazing? Look at this yummy goodness. You just want to grab a spoon and just put it in your mouth and just eat it up. It's amazing, and it's cooked soft, and it's the right butternut squash to the right texture. And guys, it is really a hearty food or a hearty soup to have. So I have all the butternut squash in here, blended up with the garlic, the onion, and the thyme and everything in this pot, and it's looking beautiful with the color of the red pepper. And this is the consistency I'm looking for. I don't like it too thick that you have, it's like pudding. I like it when it's more on the liquidy side. So now I'm gonna taste to see what I have to add and what I have to take out from this soup. I'll try to see if the flavor is good and what I have to. So first of all, it tastes that I need to add a little bit more of salt. So I'm gonna put that in right now. And this color is amazing, guys. The taste of the roasted red pepper and the roasted garlic is amazing. Like the flavor is just popping up, and I'm getting that little hint of thyme, but I like it with some more of black pepper. So I'm gonna add a little bit more of black pepper. You need that nice peppery flavor in here. And
it looks so good.
It is very tasty, right?
Yeah.
It's beautiful. So here I'm gonna add a little bit of grated ginger because you want that nice hint of sharpness in there. So I'm using a fine grater because it's a soup and you don't want to taste big chunks of ginger. So I like that nice sharp taste of the ginger, not a lot, a little bit. So I will mix that in well. I think this is enough. Just to get a little sharpness in there. and you want to stir it up and make sure that it's mixed in well. Oh boy, this looks so good, so hearty. And then to make it a little bit on the creamy flavor side, I'm gonna add a spoon of butter, and that will give it a nice extra buttery flavor in there. And once it's melted, this is done. And that's how easy and simple it is to make a butternut squash soup, guys. Sometimes stuff like butternut squash and squashes, we tend to forget that we can use these up in very, very simple recipes. But once in a while, if you make a nice soup, your family will enjoy it. So this is done. The butter is gonna melt because it's hot. I'm gonna go back to making my garlic bread now to eat this soup, and then I'll show you everything when it's done and come together. I'm gonna assemble the garlic butter that I just mixed up all my garlic and the dry oregano into the butter, and I'm gonna put these together with the bread to make that garlic bread for our butternut squash soup. But guys, oh my god, the garlic in that butter, you just want to butter up a whole loaf of bread and just sit down and gobble them down. So I'm gonna butter these up nicely on one side, and I will put them into the oven. I have it warming up to 350 degrees, and I'm just gonna let the bread toast up a little into the oven. And once the garlic butter is melted and the bottom of the bread is toasted a little, this is gonna be all ready for our butternut squash soup tonight. And I am very excited right now because that butternut squash tastes so good, guys. So good with these homemade garlic butter. I will just enjoy my supper tonight. So I'm gonna add these and leave it into the oven for like 10 minutes until the bottom is crisp up. And the rest of the garlic butter, you can always use it for your toast in the morning or something like that. So let me put these in the oven and I'll come back and show you guys the next step. This is the finished butternut squash. I'm just gonna garnish it with some parsley, and I'll put a little bit more on the top. And you can't have butternut squash soup without some of the pumpkin seed. So I have here some extra pumpkin seed that I'm adding to the soup. Look at that, guys. How does that look? So I'm gonna get my garlic bread and I'll be trying this and let you guys know how it tastes. Guys, this is the garlic bread and you want to be nice and crunchy. So you hear that crunch there? So it's nice and crunchy. And this is the sprouted 20 grain organic bread that I'm using. So guys, it is a very healthy bread and it's amazing for this. And the extra garlic butter, you can just, spread it on top of here to get that extra garlic-ish taste that you're looking for. And guys, the bread is toasted nicely, so I'm gonna put it here like this. The other way, yeah. So that's gonna be my supper for tonight with the garlic bread and my own homemade garlic butter spread with my butternut squash soup. How does that look, guys? Amazing. So this is the time to do the taste test and I will let you guys know how everything tastes. Okay guys, so I'm very excited. So I just want a little bit of the pumpkin seed along with the butternut squash soup. And guys, you can add cream or you can add sour cream, heavy cream, whatever you want into this. You can change it up as much as you like. But today I didn't add any cream because I want to have that richness from the butternut squash, and I didn't want to add too much cream because the butternut squash is already sweet and creamy. So guys, I'm gonna taste now. I'm so excited. My God. So flavorful. I can taste that roasted garlic roasted red pepper, the thyme, all hint of every little thing kicking in here right now, and so smooth, so creamy, tastes so buttery. I'm gonna just dig into my garlic bread, and the bottom is already soaked, but I want to try the top. It's crunchy, and guys, this is a very, very hearty supper. The bread is so crunchy. Guys, I am in love with my butternut squash soup. You guys, if you never cook butternut squash, if you never tried this recipe before, you gotta try this recipe. Your family would love it. Your kids will like it. It's an amazing, amazing dish, soup. So guys, I'm gonna be enjoying the soup. Please remember to subscribe to my video if you haven't done so. Please press the like button, share, leave me a comment, let me know what you would like me to make next. And until then, bye for now.